Don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the like button as well, because it really does support the channel. Trying to hit as many subscribers as we can before the end of the finale. I bring you the good news, if you want to call it good news. It is good news, I suppose. But first off, if you didn't watch my review for the Interstellar Song Contest, that video is up now. I posted it yesterday. Some pretty good stuff in there if you've not seen it. And if you've not watched the actual episode, I advise that you don't even look at the thumbnail, because there is spoilers there. I just wanted to talk about the fact that Doctor Who has been given some kind of go-ahead, at least, for another 2 seasons. Russell did say to us that we were going to have yearly Doctor Who, and he kind of has kept that promise, because we had the 60th, and then we had season 1. We're just about to round up season 2, and then we've got the war between the land and the sea. But beyond that, we didn't actually know where Doctor Who sat. We didn't know if we were going to get more. We didn't know if we were going to get anything. We didn't know if we were just going to get a special once a year, which I would have kind of been alright with if the show was to get cancelled. I would have rather had something rather than nothing. I think you guys would probably agree with that. But it turns out that there are 2 more series at the very least that could be given the go-ahead. So that means that under Russell T Davies, we could be getting another season 3 and 4. Beyond that, we don't know what's going to happen, but I'm kind of guessing if it keeps going in the trajectory that it's going in, with the episode quality of season 2, I'm pretty sure that the show can kind of get itself back on its feet again. I think season 1 was just a case of kind of figuring everything out, really, because working on an 8-episode structure will be new to Russell T Davies. I know he has done other shows rather than just Doctor Who, but working on like just a standard drama is completely different to working on a huge sci-fi show like this, and trying to fit all your, let's call it, weaving plot lines into just 8 episodes must be extremely hard. And with the way that these episodes have actually been written, I mean, Russell has told us that he has wrote season 1 and season 2 back to back, so essentially it is one whole season, which should have all aired at the one time. We are getting hints here because Mrs. Flood's obviously carried over from season 1. There's still some unanswered questions from Ruby that's to be answered in the finale, I think. The Susan thing is continuing in season 2, and I just think that if season 1 and 2 had aired together and we had 16 episodes in total, it would have probably worked a little bit better. Or should I say 17 episodes, because the Christmas special was technically part of season 1. It started the mysteries. I think it would have been better if it had done it that way, and I do intend to go and watch season 1, season 2 all together in the one run once it's all been released, to see if it makes a lot more sense, because now that we are seeing it, and we have the reveal of the Rani and stuff, it is starting to shape up like the end of season 2 is going to be explosive, like a season finale should be. And it's starting to feel like Sutek was just like a mid-season finale, like it was a mid-season villain, and that's okay to me now, looking back at it, that it was kind of weak, because if it's the mid finale for the season, then it doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to be a big massive deal. Whereas if it's the finale for the full season, that needs to be a big event. It needs to be something huge, catastrophic, etc. If we watch it as one whole season, will it make a difference? Like, will it actually feel different? Will we not feel so let down by season 1's finale? I'm interested to see how that's going to work. I've already started watching season 1 again, just because I had found something about what the watch order, and watching it in a different order makes it feel more cohesive and makes it feel a little bit more like it makes sense for Ruby and the Doctor. If I ever finish that, because I'm having to like watch new Doctor Who and then I'm watching old Doctor Who, and it's kind of getting confusing. But if I ever finish that, I will post a video on it, and I will give a shout out to the person that kind of created this watch list, because it is actually quite intriguing watching it this way. Yeah, Doctor Who has been, we'll say half renewed for 2 more seasons, which is fantastic. And technically Russell hasn't broke the new Doctor Who every single year promise that he had made us, because if the war between the land and the sea either airs later on this year or it airs early next year, by the time that season is finished, we will only technically have the rest of that year to wait for new Doctor Who again. Technically, it has been Doctor Who every single year, because you need to class the spin-offs as part of Doctor Who as well, because they're part of Whoniverse. So yeah, we'll technically have had Doctor Who every single year, and he's still managed to keep that promise. I mean, that's one thing with Russell T Davies, is he does promise some stuff and then it doesn't happen quite often. But we can't blame him for this because it's kind of out of his control as showrunner. There's only so much that he can actually control. And if he's sitting in uncertainty whether he needs to continue with Disney or he needs to just go down the Bad Wolf and BBC route, they can't start filming, they can't start doing very much without the budget being produced for that. But we do know that there is scripts being written for season 3 and 4, I believe. They've just not been finalised yet, and then obviously there'll be other writers they'll need to get in to write those scripts and whatever else. So there's probably season 3 and season 4 is probably sitting a little bit up in the air at the minute. I can imagine there's probably like 1 or 2 episodes that's kind of given the go ahead to be filmed when it's ready to do so. That would also fit in with ᴍᴏ's regeneration. I don't think ᴍᴏ's going to regenerate at the end of this episode. I really don't, because once they get back to filming again, ᴍᴏ will be finished with this play and he should be available. So if he doesn't take on any more big roles or any more big work, he should be returning to the role. But we'll find that out by the end of the season finale anyway, because if he regenerates, we'll be expecting a new Doctor, or we'll see the new Doctor, depending on how they play it. But yeah, some pretty good news. I did tell you guys in a video ages ago that Doctor Who wasn't going to get cancelled. I knew it wasn't going to get cancelled because it just, at this point, it just feels like Doctor Who can't get cancelled. It's so weird. Yeah, it went through the hate with season 1 and it get trashed everywhere. It got trashed for season 1, which I feel really bad for because they did do a relatively good job of season 1. It just didn't shape up to be the way we wanted it to be. I would say though, RTD did mention, I think it was in Unleashed, he said something about ᴍᴏ coming into his own in season 2, and that's always been the case for his Doctor. If you go back and watch season 1, you'll see how good he is at being the Doctor, and with watching some episodes of season 1, he really is pretty much the exact same in season 2. He's just evolved a little bit as the characters went on, which is normal. But he definitely is just like a fantastic Doctor in season 1 as well. There's just some cuts and questionable bits that just made the season overall not so great. But yeah, it's really funny mentioning the hate, because there's really, like, everyone that was on the Doctor Who hate train for videos for YouTube and stuff seem to be disappearing. I don't see them as much anymore, and I wonder why. But yeah, enough about that. We don't care about the hate on this channel. We just look at the positives on this channel, and the positive here is we're getting more Doctor Who, which is such a good thing, because the show does bring joy to so many people, and whether you like it now or you're just tolerating it now because you're not sure about the new Doctor or the way the show works now, you're just along for the ride, and if anything, it gives you 45 minutes of a good time. And that's what Doctor Who is supposed to be. Not everyone's going to like the new Doctor, not everyone's going to like the way the show is at the moment, because it's always been like that. Since the show was revived, there's people that hated Chris Eccleston's Doctor, there was people that hated Matt Smith's Doctor, there was people that hated David Tennant. Believe it or not, people don't like David Tennant as a Doctor, which is so hard to understand why, because he does it so well. But yeah, and then you had Peter Capaldi, where everyone seemed to just kind of like boycott his seasons, and his seasons are like some of the best seasons in Doctor Who history. Like, I don't understand it. He's so good at being the Doctor. Obviously, Jodie Whittaker is now finding some love from the fans, myself included. I just posted a video on a retrospect review on her 3 seasons. Yeah, it found a lot more love in my heart after so many years of kind of avoiding watching the episodes because I knew they weren't great. There is something in there to love, and if you've not watched them, or you've not watched my video for the review, I would suggest you watch it and then maybe give ᴑᴜᴜ a little revisit, because there is some special things about each Doctor that some people don't pick up on a first watch. But I'm looking forward to see what's in the future for the show, and I don't know quite where we go from here, because I'm hoping that this season wraps up the whole gods thing, because I feel like the gods are kind of taken away from the show, where we could have really good episodes for aliens, and we're not seeing enough aliens, if that makes sense, because obviously there's only 8 episodes, and the story arc here is to do with the gods and all that kind of stuff, so they have to be in the season somewhere, and I just feel like it's taken away from potentially having some really standout good episodes in those seasons. Season 3 and season 4, I know for a fact I've got to at least have the Cybermen or the Daleks come back, because they can't have the Cybermen and the Daleks on pause for all those seasons. It just doesn't make sense. And it is very, very possible that the whole God thing is created by Mrs. Flood / the Rani, and once that's resolved, the gods will kind of disappear. I don't know where it's going now, but I'm so glad that my Rani theory was correct. The Disney deal, we don't know where we stand with the Disney deal. We don't know if they're going to say yes. We don't know if they're going to say no. But there's a good chance, because the BBC is willing to continue the show themselves, that Disney will kind of just be like, yeah, why not? Let's give it another 2 seasons, see how it goes. Because none of us know how Doctor Who is actually performing on Disney Plus. It could be doing extremely well, and we don't know that yet. So I would say if Disney does renew, that gives us our answer. The show was doing well enough for Disney to renew it. And they did say that it is like a low budget, it's basically like a pocket money show for them to make and produce, and that's a good thing, because it means that it's not really making a dent in Disney's money. It's not really making a dent in their overall spendings. So why not renew it? Why not continue having the show? The good thing is it gives them time to get the whole back catalogue as well, because we need to wait on, I think there was a deal, was it with HBO? I don't know, some other streamer has the rights to Doctor Who's back catalogue, and they can't give it to Disney until that deal is over or something like that. So once they have the rights to be able to give the whole back catalogue to Disney Plus, I think that would make such a difference, to be honest. I really, really do. I think that would make a real big difference to new fans that have came on and joined on this new era and don't know the whole history of the show. I mean, like with season 1 and season 2, there's Sutek, and then there's Susan, and there's so many things that the Rani, there's so many things that come from the classic era of the show that fans that have just joined now, or have never seen the classic era of the show, or have never had any backstory throughout the last 20 years of the show running again, is they're going to be a little bit confused by that. I had to explain to my partner that who Susan was, and then when the Rani popped up, he's like, who the fuck is this? And I'm like, well, this is another character from the classic era that, I mean, you have the Master and then you have the Rani. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what RTD pulls out his hat. I don't know what to think. I don't know where it's going to go from here. Yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and I'm so excited to see this Doctor Who 20th anniversary on Unleashed as well. This is going to be a good thing, because we're getting David Tennant back, we're getting Rose, I was going to call her Rose Tyler, we're getting Billie Piper back, ᴑᴅᴇᴏ is going to be there. The only one that I've not really heard anything about is Matt Smith or Karen Gillan or Jenna Louise Coleman. I've not heard if they're going to show up, but they might. And then obviously we're getting the showrunners as well. They're going to be there. And yes, that does include Chris Chibnall. Also, Jodie Whittaker is going to be there as well, accompanied by Mandip Gill. And they're going to speak about like dealing with Doctor Who and the behind the scenes crew. We're going to get some information on them as well and how they bring Doctor Who to the screens. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting 20th special. It's so nuts that Doctor Who is celebrating a 20th special when we just had the 60th special. Like, only a time traveling show like Doctor Who could do something like this. But anyway, that's all. I've rambled on enough, and I just wanted to inform you guys that Doctor Who has essentially been greenlit to some degree for further seasons and won't be airing again until 2027. Don't forget, the conversation starts down in the comments below. I do reply to as many comments as I can, and especially if you're subscribed to the channel, I will try and prioritise as many of you guys as I can. The comment section can get a little bit busy though, depending on how many views the video gets and depending on how many people have something to say. But yeah, this channel is all about Doctor Who, and anything you want to discuss, start in the comments below. We love to talk about Doctor Who here, and if you have any theories about the finale, please let me know, because I love reading theories. I love reading the imagination of a Doctor Who fan is something that is just something else, and the theories that you guys come up with are sometimes just so out of this world that it possibly could be true. It's just great. But yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the like button as well, because it really does support the channel. Trying to hit as many subscribers as we can before the end of the finale. What's your thoughts on the show coming back? What do you hope to see in future episodes for Doctor Who in the next seasons to come up?